What's happening? What's happening? We appreciate you guys for tuning in to the Who You Telling podcast. We got a very special guest in the house with us today. Thank you so much for joining us with us. I'm going to allow Cherie to really allow you to introduce yourself because she made the connection, and I appreciate that.
When I first heard you, you do not know how you inspired me. Like, your talent on this mic it's insane. It's ridiculous. Like, wow. I don't even think I could announce you as cool as you can announce yourself. So I'm gonna give you those honors.
My name is TuKoolTiff. I'm a Charlotte artist, singer, songwriter, rapper, producer, and some may say poet as well. And I am super excited to be here, chop it up with y'all.
Singer,
yeah.
Do it all.
I sing a little bit, yep.
It's funny because we starting to have more artists on, right?
That's
and I remember being in that life, trying to be in that life. It was a hustle I couldn't keep up with because it definitely takes a grind. I know you can talk about that.
Oh yeah, man. The artist hustle is tough, and it's so funny because it's such a popular thing. I think a lot of people make it look easy, and so everybody kind of wants to hop in and attempt. Right. But it takes a lot of focus. It takes a lot of tenacity to like push through all the difficult parts, of not having money. Because I do this full time. I do have a part-time job too to kind of fill in the empty spots, but it takes a lot of thick skin to tolerate the no's and stuff like that, and fight through the beginning stages of where nobody's listening, nobody's reposting, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a tough game, but I am grateful. I'm very passionate about it, so it keeps me going.
When did you start writing and putting yourself out there? I'm sure you started writing before you put yourself out there, but when did your journey begin?
My goodness, if you let my mama tell it, I started as an infant. I was the little baby on the mantle going jibba jabba jibba, just kind of writing and rapping and stuff. But I started writing things down in either middle or elementary school. Whenever you start to learn creative writing, you know what I mean, when you start writing poetry and stuff like that. So that's where I started. I started writing poetry at a very young age, and then I kind of fell in love with music as a drummer. And combine the two is just like
play the drums too.
Yeah,
I never knew that about you. That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah, you'll get to know a little bit more about that. My journey as an instrumentalist. But yeah, I honestly I literally have been rapping and writing my whole life for real. So. And
how old are you?
Nah.
Look, I know you ain't never supposed to ask a woman that, but
I do not mind. That's funny. I was just making a little jokey joke. I'm 33.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm 33.
I'm right behind you. I just turned 32.
Yeah, 30's the new 20.
Yeah, absolutely. We in our prime.
Yeah, I still feel 25 for real.
So 90s baby?
90s baby, 1990 on the dot.
That's what it is. Yeah, I'm a 90s baby, so sorry to exclude you for a second. I know you.
I am 2 years. Barely.
95?
92.
92, yeah.
95. I thought it was 96 or something like that. You're a baby.
I'm 2 years behind you.
She's right. She's right there with us, man. We all in our 30s.
08. I'm assuming 09.
Yep.
And 10.
Yeah.
We was in school together.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
I gotta give Cherie a hard time because if I don't give her a hard time, she gonna call me tomorrow. She gonna be like, "Is everything okay between us?" You just wasn't acting like yourself yesterday, so I gotta continue on. Even though we got company around, I gotta keep it pushing
For sure.
So she don't care.
Nope.
Listen,
I cut up too sometimes.
Exactly. Sometimes you have to, and that's my best nerve. So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Got to keep it rolling. But tell us about the experience just growing up. What was life for you growing up, and where are you from?
For sure. I've been in Charlotte since I was 13. So Charlotte is my home. It's the only home that I know. I'm a military baby, so I was born in Texas. I don't know nothing about Texas. I don't know nothing about Texas. So if y'all watching this, everything is bigger and better in Texas, but I don't know nothing about Texas. But I grew up on the east side of North Carolina, in a small town called Seven Springs. And a lot of my family is in the eastern part of North Carolina. So I got family in Kinston, North Carolina, Goldsboro, Mount Olive, those kind of places. But I've been in Charlotte, so Charlotte's home. Growing up at home, I'm a preacher's kid, so I've been in church all my life. That's where my drum journey started. Started playing drums in church when I was 7 years old. I played hand percussion and auxiliary percussion, so bongos and bells and chimes and things like that. And then eventually I started playing as the lead drummer on the drum set by the time I was like 8 or 9 or something like that. And I've been playing drums ever since.
You said lead drummer by 8 or 9?
8 or 9, something like that, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Lead drummer. Yeah.
It's listen. I started beating on pots and pans mad early, but it's still a journey. You still got to learn. I was self-taught then, and so I learned to read music in middle school, playing with the symphonic bands and marching bands, and I went on to college to I have a music degree, so I studied music in college as well.
There's no question you read music. That was going to be my next.
Yeah, I do.
My
read.
next question.
You true to this? Like, you got the degree behind it, the talent.
Well, I'm blessed to be one of the few people who knew exactly what I was going to do at a very young age.
Yeah.
It started off like with me just wanting to write music for other artists. So I wanted to compose and produce and write and stuff like that, and just kind of be behind the scenes. I know it's hard to believe, but I'm very shy introvert.
I would have never ever guessed that.
Yeah, I am. It's just like when I get on stage, it just kind of, because I'm supposed to be there, I'm able to do it, if that makes sense. I think I went on a bit of a tangent there, but
no, that's good. I mean, you painting the story, because I'm definitely over here visualizing everything, putting everything together, because that's dope. I mean, you had me stunned at 8 or 9 years old as like the main drummer, you know what I mean? Like,
hey man, God be doing what God do, and I just
God be
showing up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's what I was saying, that I'm blessed to have been able to know what I wanted to do since a very young age, and not being afraid to pursue it. I knew that when I graduated, I wanted to study music, and so I went with that idea in mind. And
what college did you go to?
I went to Winston-Salem State University. Go Rams.
Okay.
Go Rams.
My nephew did look at them. He did look at Winston-Salem.
Yeah, got to. I marched at Winston. I was a drum major, one of the first female drum majors to march for the Red Sea of Sound.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Listen, Winston-Salem had, I remember, I think I was either a junior or a senior, and we went up there for their homecoming. And
lit.
Man.
Lit.
They had this dance team during the football game. And there was this girl on the team named Tuesday.
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 Okay.
I wanted every day to be Tuesday, Norbin. For real. Tuesday was the most attractive girl that I had ever seen during that time of my years. But I never
not during that time.
If I forget any day of the week, I'll never forget Tuesday.
Was she like light skin, curly hair?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Tuesday. Shout out Tuesday.
You really know Tuesday?
Yeah.
Dang.
I literally, because we're the same age, I figured that if you went there, then you probably know or may have heard of a Tuesday.
Yeah, I know Tuesday, for sure. I mean, I don't know her, but I've definitely had several conversations with her. Yeah, she is very beautiful, yeah.
I was like, wow, man. I nobody knew her name. I mean, we was coming from like a high school trip or something like that. I can't remember why we was up there. But we went up there, and the dance team came out, and I'm just like, who is that? I was asking everybody. Now, we kids. I mean, she in college. Not that I had a chance or anything, but she was just attractive. I never forget that. But
I've always wanted to experience the HBCU, the steppers, the homecomings. It's definitely a time.
It's exactly what y'all think it is. I'm gonna tell you that I'm blessed to have been able to do that. Like being in the marching band, you know, like halftime is game time. That's it's from the movie, but it's real life. You know what I'm saying? I pledged Tau Beta Sigma, which is the band sorority. So if you ever seen KK Side in the movie Drumline, those my brothers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we used to tear up the step shows. They kicked us out of step shows because we was killing them so bad back then.
That's wild.
The calf is jumping. All of it's always it's an amazing experience. Like you get an education and you also get an experience of a lifetime of being surrounded by your people and your culture and being taught by that. It's a beautiful thing. Big HBCU advocate here.
Amir Jackson, he was on episode 1 of our season 2.
Okay.
He was a Ram too. He went to Winston-Salem State. He's a little younger. So probably 2 years younger than me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he definitely played in Winston, showed out there, and then that's when he transferred to I can't remember what school he said he went to, but he did start off at Winston.
Yeah, I remember him saying he went somewhere. Well, he went somewhere and then he came back. But nonetheless, Winston has my respect for life because of Tuesday. But nonetheless.
Oh, I just want to say I wish I was talented enough to play the drums, sing, rap.
Listen, man, everybody's gifted in some kind of way. Everybody, every single person on this earth has been gifted to do something. You just got to find your thing.
Right. I remember when you gave me a compliment. That's how much I looked up to you as an artist. I was just like, dang, she complimented my work. Like, okay. But
you know they a dope artist when they give you a compliment and means something. Like,
wow.
It's one thing where, you know, you come from a different or a certain person and they are maybe in that music, you know, field too, but some things need some work. And, you know, you getting it. It's just different when somebody is of a certain caliber and giving you that compliment. So I know what she means by that for sure.
Absolutely.
Outside of I know you said you've been doing this a while, but what do you think made you fall so in love into it that you was like, I'm going to do this for forever?
Man, that's a wonderful question. I love that question. I fell in love with hip hop as a very young kid. I remember my uncle putting me on to Pac and Biggie. I remember him playing battle rap for me, and I was just like absorbing it. And I think I really latched onto it because it was in my heart, in my bones to do. You know, like I couldn't deny it. There was no way I could just deny it. And I know some people, you know, they find out later on, but like I said, I was just blessed to know immediately. And I was always taught not to give up so easily. And so if you want to be great at something, you got to practice. You got to put time and effort in. And so because I was taught that through multiple disciplines between learning my instrument or perfecting the atmosphere of marching band, because that's different from symphonic band, or being an athlete playing basketball. You work, you know what I'm saying, and you work at it. And the more I worked and spent time with it, the more I fell in love with it, and the more it became, you know, a part of me. So yeah, you know, I guess I really hope that answered your question.
Yes, you did. Now, you keep on leading me down different paths. So you played basketball too.
Let's go. Yeah, I was a baller, shooter,
Man.
sniper from the 3-point line. It was very interesting though, because I'm kind of tall in comparison to most women. I'm only 5'7", but most women are like 5'5" and whatever. But I played power forward, but I was a shooter.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I was out there.
I was about to say you was a 3, wasn't you?
Yeah.
I can see it. I can definitely.
What you know about a 3?
I know.
What position did you play? Center?
For sure.
Center?
That's the only place they was gonna put me.
Get the ball. Get that rebound.
I played center, a little power forward, but I also played towels and water bottles towards the end. It was a little different experience. I started wearing out, but track was my thing.
Okay.
Shot put, discus.
Oh, dope.
I ran it all on those events. But yeah, that's dope, man. You all over. Field, basketball.
Yeah.
You're in the field with the music and things of that nature. You do poetry as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the last video I seen
Yeah.
of you doing. Shout out
That's-
to your Instagram too.
Yeah,
which is
shout out
dope.
to my Instagram.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I don't consider myself a poet, but my poet friends consider me a poet.
Yeah.
And I do think
Would've
that
never guessed that.
poetry is the mother of hip hop, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I can't deny it.
Yeah.
You know, usually when you see me perform poetry these days,
Yeah.
it's just my raps
Mm-hmm.
performed poetically.
Yes.
Right.
So yes, I
So
do
you
poetry.
can resonate with Sanaa Lathan. What's that movie she was in with
Brown Sugar.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
the whole hip hop.
Every time I say I fell in love with hip hop, I always think about that movie, and I be like, I sound so corny.
No, when you were talking about, being in love with music, that's literally what came to mind. And I know you mentioned, talking about how the journey started off, from people not listening, not sharing. What did your beginning days look like? Like, how did you get yourself out there to be known?
All right, bet. I love that question. So when I really started rapping in front of people, it was in like middle school. So I would do the cafeteria raps and stuff like that.
Somebody beating on the tail.
We'd be in the gym freestyling, kind of battling a little bit. So that's kind of where I really started to like dip into it and sharing poetry in class. But when I went to college is when I really started to take. I had probably written one song before I got to college, but everything else I was just freestyling with my friends.
Okay.
But when I went to college is when I really started to lock in and hone in on my writing skills. And I was able to do that because a lot of my peers in marching band were also studying music. They had recording equipment and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I cut my teeth on the process of recording, and also performance. It was the first time I performed was in college, like on a stage with a mic and a band, and I fell in love with that, and that's how I became a performer. After college, of course, I'm constantly writing through college. I had to write in order to graduate, of course, so I was constantly sharpening my pen. But when I came back home from college, which is where I met Cherie, I started going to open mic nights.
Okay.
So Sir Abstract, shout out to Sir Abstract. He was doing Eclectic Soul Sessions, I think it was still called back then, and that's where I met Superman, a poet named Superman. You got to say the whole thing.
Like
a pimp named Slipback or a Tribe Called Quest, I think he be saying.
Yeah.
Shout out to Soup. But I met them in their respective platforms for poetry, and so I just got up there and I started performing the raps that I had been writing as poems, and that was a part of it because I would go faithfully. I would go faithfully every Wednesday.
And
I was
to writer's
there.
workshop.
I would go to the writer's workshop, which was a way that I sharpened my skills, and then I would perform. That was my way of performing. If you ever go to an open mic night, and if you're an artist and you're listening, go to open mic nights and perform your pieces as poetry, because that crowd is going to teach you how to perform.
Yeah.
So the more I went, the better I got, and the more people started to recognize me from that. And then I was finally ready to start putting out. Well, I had been putting out music previously, and I won't get no play for real. Like I get a couple hundred streams, if that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be like 25, or my Instagram wasn't.
I got
really
your
doing
first
much.
album on my phone.
Oh God, how'd you get that? Delete it. No, I'm just
it.
playing. I'm just playing.
No.
If you got it, you got it, but it ain't up there no more for sure. Yeah, so like I was very persistent. I would put out music. I would get so discouraged for real, because I feel like I'm putting out great stuff. Like I'm working hard at it. I went to school for it.
Right.
Where is it? But it was just a matter of continuing to work, continuing to practice, continuing to release music. A lot of artists, that's where they get stuck at, is that they so stuck in like perfection.
Yeah.
That they don't want to release anything. They don't want to drop anything. But I kept dropping even though I felt like nobody was going to listen to it, or that it wasn't going to be the one. It wasn't going to pop, and, doing all the things. And then in God's timing, I met Jay Monty through social media. I just fell in love with his work, and I'm like, oh, this man is doing something crazy. I never heard nobody rap like this. And I just reached out to him like, yo, I'm a huge fan. Like, what, and instead of just going for the can I get a feature? You know what I mean? I really wanted to get to know this man because I needed to know somebody else in this space that could,
like a mentor.
Yeah, a mentor for real. And I really looked up to his craftsmanship and what he does. And so as we begin to build a relationship, through Instagram first, then I sent him a song. We did a song that nobody will ever hear. And then, I sent him another one. Because I was just like, you got to also know when not to post and drop stuff. Because you can't drop everything. Everything ain't worth, you know what I'm saying? Like, take your time and choose wisely about what you release. Right. But once me and J Monty finally collaborated, we dropped Enemies and Foes. Went crazy.
Took off like a rocket.
Yep. Just before that though, I did like a challenge on IG, open verse challenge.
Is that the one that I made the flyer with? That's not it, is it?
No. I did an open challenge for this song called King Jesus, made by KB. And that went viral very quickly. And he posted it on his page. And then after that, that's when me and J Monty dropped Enemies and Foes. And he has a very loyal and large following. And they latched on and helped push me. And, that's kind of where the beginning of a spike kind of happened. Yeah. And, yeah.
You got some really dope music. I will tell you that. I can tell that you take your time with it. You love it. You can tell that. You can tell the quality that you're putting out, the things that you're posting and things. I can tell that it's very strategic. So I can definitely understand that for sure. In terms of one of the things that you mentioned is reaching that point where people weren't sharing, or sometimes people still don't share and things of that nature. Yeah. What mindset do you embody in order to push past that?
Man, you better ask that question. He asked that question. I love that. That it's not in anybody else's hands but God's and mine. Right? Like, you don't have to repost it. My success and my destiny is not in your hands. Like, gotcha. It's not in Instagram's hands. It's not in my best friend's hands. It's not in anybody's hands but God's. Right. And I am going to fulfill that purpose. The doors that are meant for me to walk through are going to open for me. What God has for me, it is for me. There's nothing that anybody can do. And there's not even anything that I can do to stop it. You know what I mean? God's plan is God's plan for me. And so having that understanding that that there's nothing anybody can do, it made me lock in and say, okay, but there's something that I can do. That means be consistent. That means to continue to practice and sharpen my skills, continue to think out of the box and be innovative. I embodied practice makes perfect, and all of those things to keep me going. And I admire people like Michael Jordan and Kendrick Lamar and Serena Williams, people who are absolutely great at what they do, and don't let anything that's going on around them stop them from being great. Right. And so I lock in on that mentality and keep pushing.
That's dope.
That's what's up. So have you ever came across one of those moments, like, because you seem, like we say, very passionate. Have you ever, like, not wanted to do this anymore, or what could you see yourself doing if you weren't an artist and into music?
Scary question.
That's a scary question.
That is a very scary question. I am just now coming to the realization, and this is so deep and so real, so that's kind of crazy, but I'm just coming to the realization that I don't really know who I am outside of my art and outside of my music. So I'm in the middle of, like, discovering more of who I am as a person outside of what I can do with what my skills are. So I'm not really sure what I would be doing outside of music. And I'm sure there would be something. But yes, I still get, there's always a moment where I'm like, I'm not sure if I can keep going. I've been doing this for a very long time. And there's certain things that I'm kind of reaching for that I'm hoping God will allow, to come into my life, which is like, I want to be fully sustained by music. Like, I don't really have a desire to be famous or rich, but I want to be wealthy and comfortable through what I do with music. And so sometimes it seems like it's taking a very long time to get there. And I do find myself kind of like, man, I might need to, find a plan, but at the end of the day, I do not have a quitting bone in my body.
Yeah.
I do not have give up. I just don't have it. So though I may feel like that, it ain't gonna happen. You know?
I definitely
respect that.
Yep. You took that right out of my mouth. I can definitely respect that answer. Where did the name come from? Because I mean, maybe the too cool, because the swag, But what encouraged the name?
I love that question. Y'all are on it. I just want to shout out to y'all. Shout out to this podcast now.
Appreciate it.
Who you telling? They know how to ask questions and conduct an excellent interview. So it's an oxymoron. Honestly, I am not cool at all. I'm actually a big nerd, big geek. Like I said, I'm an introvert.
That don't mean you're not cool.
By society standards, right? By what people say is cool in terms of like.
I like to refer to it as different.
I'm mad different.
Yeah, you in your own box. You don't have to fit a category, or you know what I'm saying. I feel like I've always been that way because people been cool with me. Like, there's no beef with nobody, but I wasn't a trendsetter. I wasn't this popular person.
Yeah.
But everybody got along with me.
Yeah.
They'll speak. So I never put myself in a category.
Right.
I just, we cool. We cool people. We can hang with the lames. We can hang with the smart people.
Yep. I was that kid bouncing around at the lunch table, sitting with the goth kids, sitting with the football players.
You're not above anybody,
right?
And that's the beauty, and that's the beauty in personality. So I need you to take that back. That's what makes you cool, when you can become flexible and you don't have to use. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. You don't have to put yourself in a category to determine who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's a part of it. So by society standards, I don't see myself as cool, but I've always been cool with being myself. And because of that,
I'ma steal that.
take it.
Too cool, Bree.
Yeah. So because of that, TuKoolTiff, and also like the alliteration of the T and the T, and what's so funny? I have had people ignore me, laugh at me, and tell me I should change my name.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, it's one of the most degrading things that I've experienced as an artist. I introduce myself to artists that I look up to. Like, yo, this is my friend. My friend introduced me to this big time artist one time. In the Christian hip hop space, and she was like, yo, this is my friend, she's an artist, her name is TuKoolTiff. And he was like, TuKoolTiff? And she was like, yeah. And he was like, what's up, TuKool? And I was like, wow. I've had people.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I've submitted my music to like, how people do the music reviews. I've submitted my music to a music review, and they luckily this particular time, the guy, he goes ahead and plays the music, and as soon as he stops playing the music, he goes, yo, I just gotta apologize to you right quick, because the first thing I was about to tell you to do is change your name, but after listening to your music, I'm so glad I didn't say that, because you are too cool. Like, I don't know what it is, but people,
I think that's a dope name. Like,
thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm gonna say this, like, in my opinion, I feel like people confuse popularity with being cool. Anything can make you popular. Even doing bad things in life can make you popular.
Especially these days.
But being cool is actually just, in my mind, just embodying being able to go in any room.
Because like everybody ain't
like
cool.
Like a fan.
Yeah.
Right? A fan can go in any room. It's going to breathe that coolness on you, right? But you just chilling. You know what I mean? It reminds you of a chill atmosphere. So I think it definitely has a nice ring to it. I love the name.
Thank you.
And to be honest with you, I'm horrible with names. So when everyone's been asking me, who you guys having on this week? And for me to be able to repeat it, because Cherie know, usually before the episode, we sitting here in position and we're about to go live. And I'm like, what did you say your name is again? And it's something simple like Daniel. So that rings a bell, you know.
Yeah.
TuKoolTiff, and I like that. I
Appreciate
really do.
that.
That's dope.
Thank you. It ain't going nowhere. I'm not changing my name.
Well, that's what I like to hear. So let me ask you this: what's the biggest audience that you've ever performed in front of? Like, what's your biggest audience look like?
Ooh, I did a drum solo with the marching band at the Honda Battle of the Bands. I did a drum solo in front of 50,000 people.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Was you shaking?
No, because it didn't feel like I was by myself because I'm with the band. You know, like I was a drum major at the time, so you know we're doing the intros and all the things. And then it came time for my solo. Yes, I was nervous. I always get nervous, even to this very day. I still get nervous. But as soon as I start playing, it's gone. It's out the window. I know the music. I know the material. I'm playing it. It was wild. It was wild. But as a recording, as a performing artist, solo, I don't know. Couple hundred.
Yeah.
Couple hundred. I've done the Night Theater with Kurt Franklin and Fantasia hosting the Juneteenth event.
Okay.
This past year.
Okay.
And there were a couple hundred people in there. Maybe, I think that venue holds like 500 people. That's a guess at the Night Theater. So wherever the Night Theater is, it was packed that night. Yeah. So that was a pretty big crowd.
Oh, that was a huge crowd. I remember one night I was performing at open mic, and it was my poem Dope, and everybody used to love that one. And I went up there, and I literally went blank. When I say this has never happened to me, like, oh man, it was such an embarrassing moment. And I don't like to. One thing about me when I would perform, I like to memorize my work because I feel like when you know it, you perform it better because you can actually feel it instead of reading from it.
Absolutely.
And another reason I don't like reading because I start skipping lines, adding words that ain't there, skipping words. So
absolutely.
I was always a fan, big on memorizing the word. You just see the passion more.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Memorizing it allows you to tap in with the message, tap in with the story, and then you can perform it and people can connect with you. You can look people in their eyes and make eye contact, and it definitely enhances the performance 100%. But I've been blank. I went blank before plenty of times.
How you handle it?
Start over. No.
How do you feel with rewind when people hit you?
Oh God. Honestly, I cannot stand a rewind, but it's a part of the culture because for me, it's because a part of my memorization is flow. And if you tell me to rewind, now I gotta remember. I gotta go back
and
to
jump
this.
Back to that, yeah.
So it's just hard, but like it's a part of the culture. So it's like, all right, I'm in this moment. I'm a poet, so I'm about to rewind this joint real quick for you. But that's one of my favorite things about poetry culture as opposed to like just hip hop and rap performing and stuff like that, because the audience interacts so in depthly. They're like, rewind, say that again. They're snapping and clapping. You gotta pause. It gives you something, like it's a little bit different, but. Yeah, I've been there before, for sure.
I can't stand rewind.
Tough. I ain't gonna lie. We would have to go back to the beginning.
All right, from the top.
Don't worry, I'm gonna rewind it. All right.
Because it's with a flow. So if I remember it, I'm remembering it and I'm practicing it with this certain energy. And you hit rewind. That energy got to start over from the beginning. We can't just hop back into the middle of it. But that's why I commend people who do get up there and their nervousness does not reflect in their performance, because it's so hard. I had a performance this weekend, and I don't sing. I'm not in that light, but I can sing. So people
go ahead and give us something right quick. I'm just
listen.
Well, only if y'all do a little duet, and I hum in the background.
You great at beatboxing.
But beatbox shower song.
It was probably like 35 to 45 people in the room. First of all, I didn't know what kind of event this was. Somebody hit me up the day before and was like, listen, I'll pay you to come sing a couple of songs. And I'm like, all right, pay. Cool. You know what I mean? I go. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that changes
yes,
the
I
thing.
do.
Because most of my experience, and I believe it or not, to do an icebreaker, I told them, and straight up, I usually sing for funerals, like, and that's the truth. So all of them like, oh, this ain't a funeral, blah blah blah. And it was just funny. We all laughed, but I was still nervous. I mean, legs feel like noodles.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then on top of that, like you said, knowing the lyrics, I ain't know the lyrics. It was the day before. I'm horrible with lyrics.
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it was, I just always wonder how people push past that point of nervousness, and what is it? Is it something in the audience that you try to look for? Do you try to not look for the audience? Because for me, singing in front of a small, intimate crowd is worse than singing in front of a bigger crowd for me.
Nah, not for me. Singing in front of hundreds of people or thousands of people. Oh, you know what? I did a poem for Women's Night at the Hornets game for halftime.
Whoa!
That was 30,000 people. So that was terrifying.
Yeah.
So one of my telltale signs when I'm nervous. First of all, I always get nervous every single show. I get nervous. I get anxiety. So I have to go through my process. A lot of times, I get less nervous when I have a green room. Where I don't have to be in front of the crowd or around the crowd. If I have a green room, then I have time to pray. I got time to, read and just settle. I can just, chill and be alone. But like a lot of times I don't always get a green room. Excuse me. So I have to think about the bigger picture, because for me, it's bigger than me. I'm not up there for me.
Yeah.
What God gives me is for the people. So I'm being obedient to what God has given me. So it's bigger than me, so I can push past that. One of my tell signs is, if you notice, I don't usually hold a mic when I perform. And that's because I tremor.
Yes.
When I hold a microphone in my hand, I tremor. And it's never, I can't do it, and that's the whole time. The whole time, even if my body is no longer experiencing that anxiety or that fear anymore, my hand is, I guess it all goes right here to my wrist and hand. So usually the way I deal with that is most of the time I'm on a mic stand. But the biggest answer is that it's bigger than me, for me, because I happen to be my art. My faith comes out through my art. God speaks to me and gives me things to share with people who might need to hear it through my art. So remembering that it's bigger than me allows me to get on the stage. Now, while I'm on the stage, it might take, a little bit of the first song to get me comfortable. I do look for interaction, though. I do look for, but my people, usually my people that came with me, I'm looking for them to just be into it, because they are genuine friends, but they're also genuine fans. And so I can just kind of feed off of their love to keep just kind of push me through that moment. And then I'm out of here. Yeah. I'm gone. Yeah.
That makes sense. With that being said, I do want to kind of switch things up. So when we were, discussing this kind of, I was explaining, her winning second place at the Olympics, which I think was a huge win. But a lot of people out there, for some reason, feel like that wasn't good enough. What's your opinion on that, and why do you think people would even have that mindset?
You know what? Shacarri is an athlete that had to pull herself out of the trenches from the disappointment of 2020, not being able to go to qualifying hard and well, and not being able to participate because of a decision that she made. As an athlete, she knew that she couldn't have that, but that's that, right? Having so many people disappointed. She's disappointed in herself, but then having the world be disappointed at her in that moment, and to pull herself out to work her butt off, because stuff like that breaks people. She lost a family member, right? She lost her mom. Right. And so she had to fight through that just to not be able to go to the Olympics, and then have to deal with the backlash that it came from people in the media and people on, on the internet.
Right. That cruel.
That people are mean. People are nasty, and so she had to fight her way through that, lock in, become a better version of herself to get her there. Because it's hard to compete. It's hard to do. There's people younger than her, you know, but she has the drive. And so for her to make it back into the Olympics was enough for me.
Yeah.
It was enough
that was
for
a
me.
win.
Yes.
Yeah.
For her to qualify over and over again for all it was enough for me.
Yeah.
Her getting a medal, most of the people who got something to say about it will never even go to the Olympic event, even if it's
Or
in
qualify.
Atlanta again. You know what I'm saying? You won't even get a ticket to be in the building if it's in Charlotte next week.
Yeah.
So people gonna have a feeling, but they have to understand or even try to comprehend what it takes to compete at that level. Silver is. I thought I was gonna go to the WNBA when I was in middle school. By the time I was 16, I was like, I ain't going to the, you know, I had to realize that. So that's because I understood the work ethic that it took. I also knew what my purpose was. But my point is that try on the shoe. You know, try on that shoe for a second. Think about what she had to endure, what she had to put her body through, what she had to put her mind through to get there. Silver is good enough for me. Go Shacarri.
For sure.
That's facts.
How you feel about it, Reed?
I'm literally in the same boat. And like you say, we talked about this a little bit. I believe beauty is in the eye of the beholder. On the Olympic level, I can see why, you know, someone would be hard on themselves for not placing gold, but just from an ordinary standard, there's people who would never qualify. I definitely ain't gonna never qualify in the Olympics. And then even from what you were speaking on too, Cool, like it's one thing for her to go through this again, but to want to go through it again because the world is cruel. Yeah. And just the comments that were made about her, things that were said, some people would have shied away from that. Like, I don't even want to get back out there because now not only am I having to compete with athletes, I'm having to compete with an opinion that was created about me. And 80% of the people who was probably talking junk, they probably smoked themselves. And she's held to a standard.
I know I do.
And I get that.
I'm telling them, man.
But I would have
been out of that race.
As an athlete, you know, you got to be held accountable.
Right.
I just think it was a tough decision what she made to do during that time. But the world misconstrues bad decisions with bad people. She's not a bad person. She just made a bad decision, and especially around that time, you know, you could have waited till the Olympics was over and celebrated, but life hits, and like you say, put the shoe on. You don't know, nobody know what this woman was going through. Because she smoked weed, don't make her a bad person. You got people out here smoking cocaine, sniffing coke, whatever you do with it, and then going to teach a class the next day. No, for
You definitely took that one all the way. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, you went
it's the
and
truth.
stretched that out, but it is absolutely the truth. People do that all the time. And, you know, for me, like you said, what she had to put her body through, you know, this is a 4-year span. Sometimes my attitude changes within the week. Like what
4
I
minutes.
started wanting to do. You know what I mean? Like, seriously.
Okay.
So
4 minutes.
You imagine how many times you went back and forth with yourself to say within a 4-year period whether or not I should show up or not. As cruel as this world is, that has to be hard. That has to be real difficult, you know? Yeah. So I don't understand that, but I am very upset with the fact that she had to walk an hour.
That's the thing. Okay,
That
so
was crazy.
when I discovered that, I was like, that is blatant tampering.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, to walk an athlete, the star athlete,
right,
in this event, you're gonna make them walk. I was flabbergasted, and something needs to be done about that. Somebody needs to right that wrong. I don't know how. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But
Like,
I feel
how
like
do you
that
fix
definitely played a factor in it.
Yeah. Because you're talking about losing. When I went to States for track discus, the girl that beat me, I was so disappointed in myself. I scratched one time, and then the 2 of my throws ended up counting. But the girl literally beat me by a 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
Dang.
So when you are in a race that's that close, you think maybe walking an hour and a half before
Had something to
I
do
had-
with it.
had
And she
anything to do?
still won silver. I couldn't.
Yeah.
How long? It was 5 miles. Wait, how many miles was it?
Well, this was the 200-meter race. I
No,
believe,
how
or
long was
100.
the walk? The walk was
Oh
like
no, yeah. The walk was like 5.5 miles, 6 miles almost. I want to say.
I can't walk 5 miles and do nothing after that, let alone
Right.
I wouldn't have
sprint.
made it.
Right.
5 miles?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I enjoy walking. I walk a lot. It's how I pray. It's how I, try to stay in shape for shows and stuff like that. I walk a lot. Sometimes I run. But 5 miles?
Yeah, 5 miles.
Before doing a sprint?
Yeah,
That's dirty.
yeah.
That don't sound right. That kind of sound kind
The suspect, ain't it?
of evil.
And at what point, as a runner, do you not start running? Because during a 5-mile run, like you just walk it out. You know what I mean? Or you just say maybe I can get over there faster so I can warm up, stretch out. Because they also had to. She had to walk over to the area to be able to stretch out and do all of that stuff.
We gotta change the subject. I'm about to get mad.
They did it. They
For
definitely
They
did
about to
her
make me
dirty.
mad.
Yeah, that's a dirty. It's a dirty world, man. As far as athletes, it's been a lot of people that says I go over here out of country or whatever the case may be and had these experiences, just treated poorly. And we try not to focus on the racial aspect of it, but it's hard not to, especially when you have situations like the 28-year-old guy who was punched by the police officer while he in handcuffs. Like, I don't
Have
know
you
if
seen that
have
one?
you seen that?
I have not. I don't
Yeah.
know about that one.
That one, that one's insane.
Pretty toxic.
Yeah.
Pretty toxic.
And then handcuffs, so he's not a threat.
Yeah.
He's
This guy
not a threat.
right here, I'll put him on the screen, but yeah, he basically was hit by the police officer while he's in handcuffs. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, at what point do people stop becoming a threat, like, because of the color of their skin, man? Like, that is just, it's sickening to me. It's sickening. Well,
Yeah.
did you look into it, Ray?
Yeah. And I seen this when it first hit. And when I went back to look at it, what I didn't know is you had a cop of his race sitting there witnessing it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not one of those ones who will always just throw out the race card. But when it's a scenario like this, what else do you throw out? Because
Spade on the table.
no, not one time did the other officer say, chill out, what? It's disturbing because when you watch the video, I can even see if this man was trying to break out the handcuffs, being aggressive. Mm-hmm. He literally is just there. And even when he get hit, he's still calm. He just shake it off. Like, you can tell he upset.
Yeah.
And then he started talking junk, basically saying he gonna sue him. But what's gonna happen? He has I do know that the cop has what you call it? Not probation, absent leave of absence or whatever.
Yeah. But that's
And
not good
before-
enough.
It's
I mean,
not. He need to lose his job.
somebody that displays that type of character, you just know to assume that this is not a first time.
Yeah.
This is not an only time it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, he's going to go out there and learn from his mistake that he made. It's going to be a repetitive type of action. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to see it done more than one time, just in my opinion.
I want to know what the man said for him to even punch him. Apparently LAPD is supposed to be releasing the footage because those videos that are out now, that was his family or surrounding people that were recording.
Man,
We hadn't got anything from LAPD yet.
they gotta fix it first before they put it out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
They gotta color grade it and chop it up.
thankfully, you do have people who do pull out their phone. I know in the time of things happening, a lot of us say, like, they're on their phone, they're not. Man, sometimes that footage is all you have to go by and trust, you know?
Yeah.
I do wish that people would put their phones down, pay attention more to what's happening in reality. But in a lot of cases, you know, it reminds me of a seatbelt almost, you know? Some seatbelts have taken lives. We can talk about it saving lives, but it is also taking lives. You know what I mean? So it's like a double whammy, in my opinion. I know you're thinking of something.
Yeah, because I feel that analogy, but seatbelts have no intention but to save lives.
That's true.
Right? So they were invented for the sole purpose of saving lives. And seatbelts don't kill people because they are, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the momentum, the angle, whatever, it's those things. So I feel that analogy. But like, our people have been persecuted for centuries, seems like. Centuries, yes, absolutely, centuries.
Yeah.
And the subject that is police brutality against my people has rendered me speechless.
Yeah.
I cry a lot about this stuff every time I see it. Like, it breaks my heart because what else? What else can we do? I feel like at this point it's deeper than we even have a way to fathom right now. And so the only thing I know to do is pray. That's the only thing I know to do because, like you said, this man is literally doing nothing.
Nothing.
So from my eyes, I look at things through, of course, my natural eyes, but I also look at things through my spiritual eyes. Usually that first. And to me, those things look highly spiritual. And so I pray for my people. I pray. I keep prayer at the forefront of what I do, and for my people, because a lot of times it's the only thing we can do. We gotta put those things that we can't understand, because what's the reason? What is the reason? We don't have an answer for it. And as it's 2024 at this point, you know what I mean? Like, and so because we don't have, what else can we do? What else do we need to say? What song do we need to write? What other preacher do we need to raise up to lead the people? How many more marches can we have? There's nothing else we can do.
Yeah.
It's out of our hands. We need to put it in the hands of God so he can handle it, and he can give us discernment and teach us how to maneuver in a life where we are persecuted for how we look, for how he created us. So,
and
yeah.
I was on Facebook today and I seen a post and it said, when you die, it might take a little more for me. It takes 6 people to lift your casket, to lift you up.
I seen that.
It takes 6 people to lift you up when you dead.
Okay.
Imagine if 6 people lift you up when you were alive.
My God.
And that just makes me feel like it also starts with us too as a community. Our people beat each other down so bad. And even reverting to, I know we couldn't find much more footage, but the fight that just happened in Charlotte. Are you aware of the one that just happened downtown?
Let me tell y'all something. I be disconnected from certain things.
Yeah.
Cause I gotta protect my peace.
Yeah.
I gotta protect my peace. And I told you things like that upset me. Like, I care and I love my people deeply. You hear it in my music all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I talk about the experience as a Black woman. You know what I mean? Like, all the time. And so, like, some stuff I stay away from, especially stuff that kind of doesn't represent our people very well. But yeah, tell me about it. Tell me what happened.
Apparently, at the taco truck, I think it's the one that sit on the corner of Trade and Tryon. I don't know what started
the
it.
halal truck? Or it's a taco truck?
It's a taco truck,
Okay.
from my understanding.
All right, go ahead.
But
I know what truck you talking about though.
Yeah.
It's like, how many people you think was out there fighting? A good 20 maybe? If not more?
Yeah, but it was you had tons more people out there.
Yeah.
You probably had 200 or better people out there on the streets.
And they
Last
just
night?
in the middle. Nah, this was over the weekend.
Oh,
They
okay.
literally in the middle of downtown just scrapping. The cars. It was an older man out there. It's women out there. Cars trying to get through, and fights was just breaking out everywhere.
We couldn't find anything else on it. I'm wondering, what I did find was there was like a brawl that took place 4th of July weekend. So do you think maybe that footage was from that?
I don't know.
Either way, it's upsetting.
I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, upsetting and disappointed. So it's like when you see stuff like that, that is why other races look at us how they do. And what bothers me is not all black people are bad.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, we gotta wear the skin. No, ain't no unfortunately, because you know what? I love being black.
Talk about it.
I'm far from racist, but I would not rather be another race. When I say I love the skin I'm in, so let me correct that. Not unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that we have to battle the things we got to go through.
Yeah.
But when I say I love the skin I am in,
Yeah.
this black, far from thin, nah. But yeah, man, the world is just scary. I don't even like being in crowds no more.
Oh yeah, that's been the thing for me. Told you, introvert. But you know what, man? I'm gonna go right back to prayer.
Yeah.
That's today's topic for me.
Going back
is
to
prayer, man, because there is a cloud of darkness over Earth right now. You can see it in moments like that, in moments like all of the police cases that we've seen. You can feel it sometimes when you're in large crowds. You can feel the presence of something that's kind of dark and heavy. And I just think that if we could pray a little bit more.
A little more.
Now, honestly, like the Bible says it, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, you know what I'm saying? Like, then, he will heal our land. That's still very relevant. You know what I mean? And I don't want to preach. I didn't come to preach. But
So
like,
good. If
we want to feel better about what we're experiencing here on earth, there's only one place to go. There's only one place to go.
Gotcha.
But yeah. And the crazy thing is about like the stereotypes and stuff, they do it too.
Yeah.
They do it too. They do mosh pits, or if they favorite hockey team wins the World Series or whatever. You can tell I don't know nothing about hockey.
No, I don't either.
World Series, that's baseball, I think. You know what I'm saying? Like if they win, they go and flip people cars out in the you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I was
That's
going to say,
dumb
like,
stuff.
that's not, I think that we choose to wear these stereotypes, but yeah, they do it too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, we don't have to accept that. We don't have to, what's the word? We just don't have to embody that. You know what I mean? At all. We don't have to take that on. We don't have to wear that skin.
Yeah.
We're just a beautiful people, a beautiful culture, just and everything in its own way, shape, and form. If you look at the world, is a mimic of our culture and what we do and how we do it. Even down to the food we eat, the clothes we wear, the music we listen to, from gospel to rap. It doesn't matter. It's somewhere in the world being appreciated in all corners and sectors of the world, who we are. So that's the beauty about that. But since we are talking about, God and getting back to, praying and things of that nature.
OG, triple OG.
This topic here that I wanted to talk about, a pastor on this woman's wedding day had instructed her to remove all makeup and jewelry, had to clean herself entirely from all makeup and jewelry prior to going into the church. I don't know if it was here in the United States or what, but I just curious to know what your opinion is on things like this, because I'm sure that as much as you pray and you're in tune with God and you have your own walk, you've also heard the horror stories, may have heard or had your own stories with the church. So I'm just
yeah.
curious to know what your opinion is on this.
My legalism is very poisonous in the space of Christianity, and because of that, people shy away from the faith because of this toxic theology that tells you can't enhance your beauty with makeup. And God, like,
Yeah.
who do you think put the idea in the mind of the person who created makeup? God, I feel like we just limit God to certain things. We limit God to even the word, even the Bible, we limit him to that. And God is just unfathomable. We can't imagine him. We can't visualize what he even looks like. We can't even comprehend his thought process, his regular process of like his creation, how he created this world. We can't fathom it. Yeah. So we can't play God. We got to stop playing God. And I feel like that's what legalism leads into. It leads into people taking these scriptures, misinterpreting them, or not even applying context around what you read. Who was he talking to? Why were he talking to them about that? What were they doing with this? How were they pleasing God with it, or what was going? Taking, applying context is so important, and I just think it's something that pushes people away. I have lots of stories, things that I have experienced with, things of that nature, legalism and stuff like that. But like, people who put God in a box like that will also remain in a box.
I will be honest. I struggle with religion. I do believe in God. There are things about me that I feel like has put me in a box, and it's one of those things where I'm kind of walking my own journey, and I have my own personal relationship with God. And to be honest, I mean, I'm not going to say it's perfect, and I don't even know where I'm leading myself to. I'm a blind person just kind of walking along, and I talk to him, I pray to him, and that's something that I'm currently just still working on. So I really, when it comes to that, it's like a mixed emotion. I don't really know how to feel about it. What faith was this a Christian church or like a?
To be honest with you, I'm not too sure. It did not, describe that in the status that I seen this on. Didn't give that details, but that's where context is important, like she said. That's very important. But as for me, it's just I've had my experiences in the church so much that I have felt God's presence more within my spirituality than I have been religious. That's for me. I feel like situations like that, I mean, you hit it on the nail. Like, people playing God is always one of the funniest things to me. Even pastors do it, pastors do this, and I hate to say it, but sometimes you just have those pastors that's like watching you literally get out of your broke down car and then come and tap you on your shoulder and say, God's been telling me. Everything is, has to be like so scripted sometimes. Nothing is read to a degree of let me think, let me use my mind that God gave me, my sense that God has given me to paint a bigger picture and not just put it into this microscopic film. You know what I mean? Because it's bigger than that. You know what I mean? Like, even down to the foods we eat, the things that we do with our bodies, the way we breathe, you know what I mean? It's in all of that. So I think you hit it on the head for sure with the way that you answered. I mean, it couldn't have been answered any better, for sure.
For sure, man. I think one of the most important things we need to remember, you both said it, and I don't know to what extent you guys are practicing this, but making sure that we create and cultivate a real relationship with God on our own.
Yeah.
Studying and reading our word on our own. You know what I mean? Like reading our Bible and not just taking everything that the pastor says from face value or somebody on the internet says at face value. Go spend time in your word. I don't know what somebody told you,
Right.
but you can read the Bible. There's several different translations and you can cross-reference them. And it's actually kind of fun when you get into it. That you can start to develop and understand the character of God through the Bible and understand the voice of God through prayer and meditation and talking to the Lord and sitting and listening. Like, so go do that. Please do that because that'll help protect you from things like that.
For sure.
I think tonight my vision of you is even doper than what it ever has been. Just to hear your talents, how strong you are in your faith. You are a person who walks in confidence. And that is definitely encouraging. Coming from another Black sister, like hats off. Give it a clap. E.
I get the,
You gotta give it a clap. No, like ever since.
Yeah, let's go. I do that all the time. I wish I had like a button like that I could just hit on my phone. Because anytime something dope happens around me, I'm always like, meow, meow, meow. Can you hit it one more time for me?
One more time.
Hey, there it is.
No, that's real. So again, this is season 2 for us. Since season 1, I was telling E, like, I know this dope girl, TuKoolTiff. I gotta get on the show.
For sure.
I didn't know when it was gonna happen, how it was gonna happen. I'm just blessed and thankful that you were able to join us. I think the world needs to see dope, cool people like yourself, like other talented people that we've had on this podcast. You know, it's crazy how quickly drama, and I speak on this every week, but how quickly drama and crazy stuff will go viral
quickly, yes.
as opposed to the positivity. And you know, that's a whole nother topic for me. But people definitely need to witness people like you, people like us. And that's what we're trying to do on this podcast. And E definitely hit the head last week. We're giving a platform for everyday people. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we're trying to reach those heights, but just because we're not famous don't mean we're not doing big things.
Exactly.
And we don't need to be validated for what we're doing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
So that's definitely something that we try to do for our community.
Well, y'all killing it. I love the purpose. I love the purpose of it. You know what I'm saying? To give people access to other great people. Thank you. Huge compliment. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I want to stir the pot up a little bit. So we've never done this before, but we're going to play a little game.
I'm telling you. Hey, yo, keep that button over there because y'all be mad at me.
Listen, it's my favorite. I got a whole little set over here. I mean, yeah, so.
Oh, that's fire.
But, all right, so this is a scenario. Your best friend of 20 years plus is also your tax preparer, right? Prepares your taxes. They have been married to the person of their dreams for a little over 3 years and have one child together, which is your godchild, okay? Your best friend, husband, unfortunately, is a saved, recovering, convicted felon that is on probation, okay? Your best friend calls you to tell you that they were going through some of their husband's items and they came across a bill that was in your name for a diamond ring. Now, they asked you not to make a big deal about it, but yes, their husband did steal your information and opened up an account for a diamond ring in your name. But because he's on probation, and because this is her wedding ring, they need you to be too cool. So I need to know who you telling for one, and also what are you doing about it?
It's a lie, ain't it?
That was a scenario. I'm thinking he about to say something like, "What you gonna do if a frog jumped on your face?" or something like that. Nah, this is a actual scenario. I am a person who needs a lot of grace. I make mistakes all the time. You know, like I fail. I've needed grace to kind of get me where I am now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't. My best friend in particular, because I'm thinking about my best friend, right? My best friend in particular has. I owe her millions of dollars, in my opinion. Millions of dollars, because she has just kind of helped me when I didn't have a dime, when I was hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's that kind of best friend. She's a real best friend. Shout out to you.
Shout out to the bestie.
Flowers and photography. So it is a very easy forgive from this perspective right now. I do know for sure that I would be heated. I would be angry for sure. It would be justified, because who does that? Right. But there would have to be some type of transfer to happen. I'm looking into how can we transfer this into your name, my best friend's name, or how do we, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
You let that slide.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, because that's nothing. You know, like he needed honestly, and I'm definitely have a conversation with that man too, because grow up. Grow up. Ask for help, ask questions and stuff like that. Like, you know, but he bought a diamond ring. That'll slide, but you know, you only get like one or two things with me. You know what I mean?
Woo! I wasn't expecting that one.
That's huge.
And it's a big flaw of mine too. I do have a big,
I definitely get it.
It can be a gift and a curse.
It is indeed. It is.
Ree, what you said you was gonna do with your left foot?
You know, what's crazy? Given that perspective, it depends on which friend. But no, I'm flipping. I'm losing my mind. But I say which friend because I got friends who got men who can afford that bill, and I got friends who got men who can't.
Yeah,
we gonna have to shoot the ones for you stealing my identity. But now I need to know you paying this bill. Is it, or did you help me? Did you help my credit?
Is my credit going up?
Look, we still gonna fall out. Yeah. It'll be hard to trust.
Yeah.
And that's my godchild. I mean, we can try to do what we need to do, but I'm definitely falling back. I'm gonna be honest. That's gonna make me, because if you'll do that, what else will you do?
Yeah.
What else will you do? Oh yeah. Oh, too cool. You too nice.
I am. I'm learning that. I am learning that. But like, my thing is, like, there's a way to work it out. There's no. I feel like the friendship 20 plus years, because it's funny. My best friend, we've been friends for 15 years, so we're really close. I can really relate to that. Especially the time frame. We've been through much more. You know what I'm saying? So there is a solution without having to ruin the friendship. Now, the husband, on the other hand, he can't come back to the crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, there of course there's going to be certain boundaries that'll be set in that case.
Is she still doing your taxes?
That's an excellent
She already got the information.
She is my tax preparer, because that is how he got the information. Okay, now I'm running it back. Nah, I gotta move on. gotta move on. I don't think she would have been doing my taxes in the first place, though.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Imagine if she knew about it and played it like she found it.
Man.
Now,
That's
she
a different
put a whole
scenario.
little twist on it. I ain't add that on there. She put a whole little, what is it, the little parsley on top when it's all done? Like, that's what she added.
I put them on my eggs and make it look like I done did something.
You did something. Some people can't make eggs, so you did do something.
Oh, my breakfast hit. That's all you gonna get out of me.
We're going to implement more scenarios on future episodes. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But for sure, I want to allow you to do your thing.
Hey, yo. I am the salt of the earth. My footprint shaped like my words. Michelin star lifestyle. Look at the flavor I serve. To kill a beat with my words. My spirit shaking and stirred. I'm in the cracks and the crevices. That's the way I preserve. This covenant I'm covered in. She talking about the blood again. The only way to let it marinate, I gotta rub it in. Y'all love luxury. This right here is expensive. It costs a lifetime. I don't just write rhymes. I live repentant. This a burnt offering. I'm salt tossing. Watch the flame color change. Unashamed to rep the bloodstained banner like I bang in his name. Don't box me in. I knock you out the picture. We hang out of frame. I am a Jesus piece, and y'all put Jesus on a chain. I'm in the church like an organ, the body like an organ. I'm in the same corner that the drums and the Norden, holding Holy Ghost notes. My triad lives according, known to bring the Lord in wherever I'm recording. My mind used to be chaotic like the 90s Source Awards. Now my peace divine, the kind only the Source Awards. Coming to you live from the South with something to say, bringing my love from below just to tell y'all, hey, I'm just being honest, and that's word to 3K. I put my idols down. You let your idol wow? Okay. Ministry is bigger than streams, it's bigger than dreams. I do more than spit 16s. I spit 316s, and one day I'll live forever, but for now I die daily. That's all I got for y'all tonight.
The flow. Tell everybody where to find you at.
For sure. My name is TuKoolTiff. That's spelled TuKoolTiff. TuKoolTiff, and that's on all platforms. If you type that in, you'll be able to find me. Holla at me. I'm in Charlotte. I'm always posting where my shows are going to be. I'm trying to do a better job of engaging on social media. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to do better. So follow me. Please follow me and share my music with your friends. I got music on all platforms, from Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, all of them. Go get that, stream it. Let me know what you think of it. Post it, share it with your people.
Man, it's been a blessing, man.
Dope.
I appreciate you. And thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Who You Tellin' podcast. Thank you guys every week for sharing, for liking, for commenting, for coming back and tuning in with us. We really do appreciate you guys. Continue to show. We appreciate you so much, TuKool.
It's been a pleasure.
Sure.
Thank you.
You gotta do it.
You gotta hit me with the